Hello, everybody. It is Angie from Trips with Angie. Thank you so much to everyone who is here joining live. Definitely put a shout out in the comments where you're from, where you're watching from. And thanks to all of you who are watching on the replay. Today, we are going to be talking about Virgin Voyages. It's a brand new cruise line. It launched during the pandemic, brought to you by the Mind, Richard Branson. You may know him from Virgin Records, Virgin Galactic, Virgin Airlines, a very innovative gentleman who was always trying to push things to the next level. And he did that with a cruise ship. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I've sailed on Virgin Voyages twice on the Scarlet Lady. I was on its mermaiden voyage out of Miami in October. And just a few weeks ago, we went again because we had so much fun the first time and got to explore and have a suite experience. So I can talk a little bit about the different cabins. But first, I want to get to the invite. So I know sometimes it can be stressful trying a new cruise line, especially if you like another cruise line. And so I am going to be on a sailing in 2023. I purposely picked 2023 to give everybody a little bit of time to get used to the idea of cruising again. It is going to be the February 25th, 2023 sunsets in the Lesser Antilles, and we'll talk about where exactly it's going. And I would love to be your guide. So if you book your trip with me, Angie at tripswithangie.com. That's my email address. I will be your personal guide. So I'll be on board to help you answer any questions. Obviously, in the process leading up to departure, I'll be there. So everything you'll need to know to get you ready to try out this great new cruise line. And not only will you get the experience of trying a new cruise line, Resilient Lady is going to be their newest ship. So they have the Scarlet Lady, the Valiant Lady, and the Resilient Lady. So the Resilient Lady will be joining the fleet soon, but that will be their newest ship. And then in terms of where we're going to go to St. Kitts, Martinique, which I've never been to, Curacao, Aruba, and then 2 sea days. Plus, if you book by February 15th, you get 20% off and $100 towards your bar tab. And I'll talk about what that is in a minute. But first, I want to dive in with a really important question. And that is Virgin Voyages right for you? I think the first thing to mention about Virgin Voyages is that this is a very inclusive cruise line. So it's very inclusive in terms of what's actually included in your cruise fare. And let me show you a little bit about what I mean by that. They really set out to make it a more inclusive experience. And so this is adults only. So they can be a little bit more free with their entertainment. Your Wi-Fi is included. This is just basic Wi-Fi. So if you want to check your email, if you want to be on social media, that's included. There is an upcharge for premium if you want to do streaming while you're there. All food is included. So I'm going to get into the food in a minute because that is one of the things I think Virgin Voyages just blows other cruise lines out of the water. They have restaurants that would be an upcharge on Royal Caribbean or Carnival or Norwegian, and they are included as part of your cruise fare. Tips are included. You're not going to be surprised when you get off the cruise to have a daily charge. Group workouts are included. This is a game changer. If you are a person who is into fitness, who loves trying new group classes, you're going to get so much value out of this. We met a fellow cruiser and she was just ecstatic with the spin classes, the high intensity HIIT workouts. They had a silks class where they had a bungee cord class. They had a summer camp class where you had like tug of war on the beach. So tons and tons of amazing fitness options. They had yoga, they had meditation, and your essential drinks are included. So your sparkling water, your sodas are included, non-pressed juices, and drip coffee are included. So in that sense, it's very inclusive what you're paying for. You're not going to be nickeled and dimed as you're sailing. You're not going to have a big, bill at the end unless you drink. So this is one difference. They don't have drink packages. They do have what's called bar tab. And what this is, you prepay a bar tab. It's you can buy it an increment of $300, and then you'll get an extra bonus. So depending on when you booked and what the current promotions are, you just get an extra $50, $100, just depends towards your bar tab. And then you're just sort of prepaying for your drinks. And the drinks are hotel prices. So, beer is going to be $7, a cocktail is going to be between $9 and $12, depending. Glasses of wine are between $9 and $12. So very reasonable vacation prices. We didn't think it was a big deal. But if you're a person that pounds 20, 25 drinks as part of your drinks package on a Norwegian cruise, and that's an important part of cruising for you, then Virgin Voyages is not going to be for you. So it's really important to know, like, if you drink a lot when you are on vacation, you may get a better value booking on, let's say, Norwegian, that includes an unlimited premium drink package in most of their sailings. But if you're just a person who likes a few drinks now and then, maybe a bottle of wine, maybe, a cocktail or two before or after dinner, this is definitely going to be reasonable, and you can prepay it before you go. So you don't have to worry about, big charges once you're there. The other piece of the puzzle that makes Virgin Voyages very inclusive is their crew and their cast. So I am so impressed. And one of the reasons I will cruise Virgin Voyages forever is they let the crew be themselves. You are going to see tattoos. You are going to see piercings. You are going to see people with hot pink hair. And I love it. Now, if you would hate this, Virgin Voyages is not for you. The crew truly get to be themselves. And if you ask them, how's it going? How is working for Virgin Voyages? They don't mention that they have better Wi-Fi. They don't mention pay. They don't mention anything. They say Virgin Voyages lets me be myself. And it's clear. This is the happiest crew we've ever seen, even in a pandemic. So it's very exciting. But again, if you're a person if the bartender serving you a drink has a tattoo is going to upset you, Virgin Voyages is not for you. Another thing, it is inclusive in terms of all people. So this is a cruise line that is welcoming to all genders, all races, all ethnicities, all styles, all choices. If you would be upset to see two people that aren't a classic heterosexual couple, side gender, kissing, you may not like Virgin Voyages. I actually love that about it. We saw so many different types of families, types of couples. The casts were very diverse, and even in terms of like body type, gender, ethnicity. So again, very inclusive. So very inclusive in terms of what's included in your cruise fare, and very inclusive in terms of creating a welcoming environment for everyone. And so if that is something that would upset you, stay off Virgin Voyages. It is not for you. So to go into like what I think kind of the best things about Virgin are going to be, at number one to me all the time, is the food. The food is just so good. I was very impressed. We did have a couple duds on our first sailing, but we kind of got the hang of ordering and we knew what our favorites would be. So lots of great items there. So first of all, they don't have a classic buffet. They have what's called the galley. And the galley is, I would call it a food court, except that you order from your chair. So you sit down, a waiter comes over, you can use a QR code, you can use the menu, and they take your order. And you can order from all over. We have a food hall here in Tampa that we talk about, that it's very similar to that, in that you can have different things from different stands. So you have the diner, the sushi, the Asian noodles, the burger bar, you have fresh fruits, desserts. So a lot of different spaces you can order from, and it's very delicious. So I like that. I like that you sit down and order, that you don't have to worry about waiting in line at the buffet. Now, if you are a person who does not like to wait, they have solved this problem for you. So they have like to-go boxes. So they have, like in 7-Eleven, they have, a fridge with shelves where it has prepared meals that you can just grab and go. So if you're not interested in sitting down and waiting, if you are starving like I was when we came back from an excursion one day, I went to the cooler. There was a beautiful little charcuterie lunchbox, for lack of a better word. Grab that charcuterie lunchbox. Absolutely delicious. They had salads, they had wraps, they had sandwiches, they had pudding, They had some desserts. So that is all there in a grab and go setting. Or you can, sit down and order at the galley. They have another space called the dock where you can go. It's located on the aft of the ship. It's one of my favorite spaces. It's beautifully decorated. There's a bar there. You can lay out. They have like day beds you can lay out, and they have my favorite dish on Virgin Voyages. I can't miss if you like octopus, and that is they have this like char grilled Spanish octopus that is so good. Let me show you a picture of it. Yeah, so that's delicious. Don't miss that when you come on Virgin Voyages. Then they also have shrimp and beef and hummus. They had a beet hummus and a walnut hummus and all kinds of really great little snacks that were really delicious. And then they have 2 other restaurants that are available for breakfast and lunch and dinner. So you can get a la carte, via a traditional menu, breakfast and brunch at Razzle Dazzle and Wake. So Wake is the steakhouse. And one of the best things I had there was this Benedict. So they specialize in Benedicts. They also have a $25 bottomless brunch. So if you're used to like those 2-hour bottomless brunches in this city, you don't have to give that up on Virgin Voyages. Here's a picture of my avocado and spinach Benedict. It was so tasty. And they have the best Bloody Marys there. So that's just another way that they're kind of making it more affordable to go. So you can have $25, 2 hours, have your bottomless brunch, which is delicious. And then it's a traditional steakhouse at night. So you have sort of a more, not formal, nothing on Virgin Voyages is super formal. And in fact, some of the restaurants will even have like a DJ pop-up. So there is definitely music throughout the whole ship, except the dock, you really didn't have a lot of music, unless it was a live singer, but, the restaurants may have like a pop-up DJ or something like that, just to give it more ambiance. But here's a pic from the Wake from our dinner. And, so it is a traditional steakhouse at night. Now, all of the restaurants do have an upsell item. So they say everything's included, but they have like a traditional steakhouse seafood tower here at the Wake, where you could pay extra for that. But it's only one dish. So every restaurant has one dish that is an extra charge. But this is the Wake's, is a seafood tower. Okay. So, and they're, again, breakfast, brunch, and dinner. And you do have to make reservations, or when you say you'll have to make reservations, it is highly, highly suggested you make them via the app. And I have a separate video on YouTube that takes you through how to use the app. So if you have any questions about that, but again, when you book through me, I show you all of this. I hold your hand, I take you through it and help you figure it all out. But so the app, you could just make your reservations and go from there. Now, Razzle Dazzle is the vegetarian forward restaurant. There are still things that are not vegetarian on the menu. They call them naughty things, which is so fun. But 2 of my favorite things there are the mushroom tartare is so delicious. They also have this kimchi probiotic bowl for breakfast. Here's a picture of the mushroom tartare. So good. They also have this very fun cocktail. This is a popcorn old fashioned. They serve it in a popcorn thing with popcorn on the top. Don't miss that. If you like bourbon cocktails, that is a don't miss. And then they also have this churro dessert with this Filipino ice cream made from potato. So it's non-dairy. And it is a delight. And that is something I think Razzle Dazzle does a really good job in, and really all the restaurants, they always ask, do you have a food allergy? Is there something we need to be aware of? A lot of the items are marked if they're gluten-free, if they're vegan, if they're vegetarian, if they have dairy. So if you are a person that has an allergy or just a certain preference to how you eat, they do a great job at taking care of that. I will say Razzle Dazzle has a very unique take on a cauliflower steak. So I ordered what I thought was going to be a cauliflower steak, which I've had other places and loved. And they brought me an entire head of purple cauliflower that was still raw in the middle. And that was not good. So you really have to be committed to cauliflower if you order that. So keep an eye out for that. Now, they were wonderful when they found out I didn't like it. They were, went above, beyond, over, under, all the way to grandmother's house to make sure to find something else I would like. But just be careful with that one. Okay. So then another one is Extra Virgin. This is the Italian restaurant, a great classic Italian restaurant. They have a wonderful charcuterie board, handmade pastas, very good. Gunbai, this is the Korean restaurant. I think it's actually the first Korean restaurant at sea, and they have great Korean flavors. Now, I do have a friend who's Korean who said it was not at all authentic. So if you are Korean, I don't know how authentic you will find this, but I did really, really enjoy the food. So let me show you some pics from that. And what you do is you sit at a table for 6 people. So you are with other people. And you can order all the different appetizers. This was a seafood corn dog. It was really good. I was surprised how good it was. Then this is a rice dish, and I forget the name of it. It's like bibimbap. Sorry, that's probably not right. But it is a delight. Like the rice gets crispy at the bottom. It has kimchi, kind of salty, spicy flavors with an egg on top. And then this is the whole point of it. So in the middle of the table is a grill. And so they will bring out all different kinds of things to grill. So they have, because, they are very vegetarian friendly. So they will grill all the vegetables first for anyone who's vegetarian. And then based on the allergies, that's how they will grill the other things to make sure that the grill's never contaminated. But they had pork, beef, shrimp, octopus, calamari, and all different kind of flavors. And then they just cook it right there in front of you. You don't have to cook it. This was my thing. I was worried about this when I read about this restaurant, that I would have to cook it. And I don't like that at all. I don't even really cook at home. So I definitely don't want to cook on vacation, but don't worry. They will come and cook for you. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, then we have Pink Agave, which is the Mexican restaurant. Now, even if you don't like Mexican food, the bar here is an excellent tequila bar. So if you do like tequila, they make amazing margaritas. And they made this one drink with carrot juice as the sweetener. And it sounded so weird in the description, but it ended up being one of our favorite cocktails of the whole trip. So definitely try some new items. And then we have Test Kitchen. So Test Kitchen is a really interesting concept. It's a 5-course tasting menu. You don't get to pick. Unless you have an allergy, which of course they would accommodate. They're not going to, kill you. But it's a 5-course tasting menu, and they have different avant-garde preparations. So you can take a look at that. So we actually sat at the bar when we went, just so we could keep an eye on the dessert chef. So you can see him plating the desserts here, and then everybody's around. This comes with a wine pairing or a cocktail pairing for an extra charge. And then just to give you kind of an idea of what the food is like, this was one of our appetizers. It was a mushroom in the form of a mushroom. And this actually was my favorite dish. And but it's the same menu every night. So if you've gone once, you don't need to go again. I'm hoping they're going to announce when they're switching the menu. So because we did it in October, we didn't do it again in January because it was the same menu. But definitely kind of fun to check out if you're more of a adventurous eater. So then, as I said before, so the food, I think, is something that really sets Virgin Voyages apart. The fitness classes we were talking about before, I think that is a big difference. And then entertainment is going to be a lot different than what you've experienced on other cruise ships if you've cruised before. I think the best way to describe it, the first thing to know is Virgin Voyages is all adults, and they expect you to be an adult. So that means, if you have questions, ask them. There's not going to be an announcement where they go over the day's schedule to make sure you know when bingo is. They are relying on you to be a grown-up. You have the schedule on the TV in your room. You have it in the app. You have it in the elevators. In the bank of elevators, there's a big board. So they expect you to read directions, find things. There's not going to be an announcement, any of that, which I love. We're all adults here. Let's all be adults. That also means there's adult humor. So there is some risque entertainment. Never Sleep Alone is a show about sex. There is a wedding that takes place as part of this Scarlet Night, which is a phenomenal marquee event that can get a little risque. So some of the entertainment may not be for people who are more comfortable not discussing specifically sex, but it's still a lot of fun, and it's going to push you a little bit outside your comfort zone. But they are very big on like, no one has to do anything they don't want to do. You know, even in situations, I think like on other cruise lines, when they call someone up from the audience, you know, like, you get up here. They always pause and say, but you don't have to. Like, if you're not comfortable, I'll just go to someone else. Where I feel like in other cruise lines, they like pressure you even more than Virgin does. Virgin's all about consent and making sure people feel comfortable and are having a good time. And so that's something to keep in mind. They also intentionally keep some activities off the schedule. They want to have surprise and delight moments for you where you come across something, whether it's a short play or a singer or some dancers. So everything's not going to be in the program, which for me as a planner totally freaked me out the first time. I am not kidding. There was like one moment where I was like, I just want to know what's going to happen next. And because that's a big part of Scarlet Night is things are kind of, you know, a surprise and how it unfolds and different things are happening in different parts of the ship and you don't know what's happening. And you kind of just have to wander around and find things. And I was like, well, I want a list. I want a checklist. I want to make sure I see everything. But you do miss out when you miss out on that like surprise and delight that comes with that. Also, their stage shows are a little bit different. And one of them is the Untitled Dance something. I think it's called that. And it is very interesting. It actually reminds me, if I had to describe it, I would say the closest thing I can describe it to is like Over the Top Miami Club. So have you seen those movies or TV shows where they go into a nightclub and there's like people dancing on, you know, different things and in cages and you're on the dance floor, a part of it? It's kind of like that, but kind of not. I mean, there's no cages or anything, but it is, you're on the floor of the theater. There is like a little stage for the dancers to dance on. They do these amazing choreographed dances, but the idea is that you're dancing with them. It's not just like you stand and watch, even though whenever anyone sees it for the first time, they just stand and watch. Like the first time, that's what we did. We're like, what is going on? This is totally different than anything we've ever been to. But then like the second time we're like, oh, we're supposed to dance. We're supposed to be part of this. They also had a really cool show that's called Dual Reality. And that is kind of their version of a circus show. It's like Romeo meets Juliet and the circus. And the acrobats are absolutely incredible. I don't know if you were following my Instagram stories when I was on Virgin Voyages. If you have Instagram, go to @tripswithangie, go to my Virgin Voyages highlight, and you will see some footage from Dual Reality where someone slides down a pole face first. It is crazy. My friend Jessica like sent me a message. She's like, this is insane. I was like, I agree. I was like gasping like throughout the whole show. It's so good. And then they had different guest performers. So we had one guest performer that was billed as like the one-man band, and he played his guitar in really innovative and interesting ways. We had a comedian that put on a one-woman show that was hysterical. We had a blues singer and his band that was there for some of the entertainment at night. There was another like kind of cabaret review show that was available. So it's different. It's not your typical like Broadway, sing some famous songs, go with that. And I liked it. I like having different things. I feel like sometimes I really like a Broadway show, and then it's really fun to find something a little more, I don't know, avant-garde is the way to describe it, kind of pushes the envelope. So that's really fun. Are there any questions? I know I'm kind of going through this fast. But to recap, I would say the three big things that make Virgin Voyages different are, well, four: the inclusiveness, the inclusive environment, as well as the things that are included in the cruise fare, the food, the fitness offerings, and the more unique entertainment. Okay, so now if that all sounded good to you and you were not any of the things I said would not be a good fit, let's talk about what it'd be like if we go together in February. So first up is St. Kitts. This is a very cool island. It has I've done a number. It has a black volcanic sand beach. It has a little island called Nevis just off the coast. You can do lots of fun excursions there. Rail and sail is a popular one. They converted one of the old sugar trains into kind of a sightseeing train that takes you around the island, and then you can sail around the rest of it. So that's super fun. Martinique is a French island, and I've never been there, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm excited to look at the shore things. They call them shore things, SHORE. Get it? Instead of sure thing. Oh, Virgin. And so they have all these unique excursions, and they are different excursions than, I mean, even in a place like Costa Maya, Mexico, which has so many cruise ships go in and out every week, there are excursions there that I've not seen on any other cruise line. So they do really push the envelope, try to find really interesting things and unique things for you to do, whether it's like once in a lifetime, like Richard's favorites, adrenaline junkie, local culture. So lots of categories, lots of fun things to do. Curacao is a beautiful island. You've probably seen pictures of it. It's all the multicolored buildings. It has a very cool downtown. Also really good snorkeling if you like to snorkel. Aruba is one of my favorite places. The dining's amazing, and it's a desert island. So you can get into some really good ATV, Jeep, 4x4 adventures. It has beautiful beaches and great snorkeling. So again, I would love for you to join me. Email Angie at tripswithangie.com. It's February 25th, 2020 from San Juan, Puerto Rico on the Resilient Lady. You do need a passport. So you must have a passport that's valid for at least 6 months after we get back. You also at this point need to be vaccinated. So as of right now, Virgin Voyages is requiring vaccines. Now, if those dates don't work for you, I can book you on any trip. So give me an email and we can figure out what is going to work best that way. All right. So I hope this is helpful. I hope it was interesting. Have a great day. Bye.